Imagine a land where golden savannahs stretch as far as the eye can see, ancient forests hum with life, and coastlines carry the echoes of history itself. Welcome to Ghana, a country of breathtaking landscapes, vibrant culture, and stories that have shaped not just a nation, but an entire continent. From the majestic elephants roaming the northern plains, to the bustling markets alive with color and music, to the solemn castles that witness centuries of struggle and resilience. Ghana is a journey that touches your heart as deeply as it dazzles your eyes. In the next few minutes, we will take you on an unforgettable adventure across this land of wonder, from its hidden waterfalls and sacred groves to its thriving cities and serene beaches, revealing the true spirit of Ghana, a nation that thrives on history, culture, and the unbreakable strength of its people. Buckle up, because this is not just a travel documentary, it's an experience that will stay with you long after the screen fades to black. Before the world fully wakes, Ghana is already alive with rhythm. Drums echo faintly through the morning air, waves roll steadily onto golden shores, and sunlight spills across a land shaped by ancient kingdoms, powerful stories, and enduring spirit. This is not just a country you visit, it is a place you feel. Ghana invites you into a journey where history breathes, culture dances, and nature speaks with quiet authority. From the first step, you sense that this land holds memories far older than maps and energy far deeper than words. Ghana stands on the edge of the Atlantic like a guardian of West Africa's soul. Its coastline stretches wide and luminous, where fishing canoes painted in bold colors line state the beaches, and the ocean carries stories of trade, migration, and resilience. Long before modern borders existed, this land was home to powerful civilizations whose influence shaped the region and echoed across continents. Every grain of sand, every breeze from the sea, feels charged with history. Moving inland, the landscape shifts with grace. Coastal plains give way to forests thick with life, where towering trees filter sunlight into emerald hues. These forests once formed the backbone of ancient trade routes, rich with gold, kola nuts, and knowledge. Ghana was once known as the Gold Coast, not only for its resources, but for the wealth of culture and leadership that defined its people. That legacy remains alive, not in museums alone, but in daily life. Cities like Accra pulse with modern energy while honoring deep tradition. Streets are filled with music, laughter, conversation, and movement. Markets overflow with color-vibrant fabrics, carved wood, handmade beads, and the aroma of spices filling the air. Here, commerce is not rushed. It is social, expressive, and human. Every exchange is a story. Every smile, a bridge between past and present. Ghana's people are the heart of the nation. Warmth is not a gesture here. It is a way of being. Strangers are welcomed like family, and hospitality flows naturally, without expectation. Greetings matter, respect matters, community matters. This sense of togetherness is deeply rooted, passed down through generations as a fundamental value of life. Traditional kingdoms still hold cultural significance, especially among the Ashanti and other ethnic groups. Chiefs, adorned in rich regalia, serve not only as symbols of heritage but as custodians of history, land, and moral authority. Ceremonies are filled with symbolism: gold, cloth, drums, and dance, all speaking a language older than written words. To witness these traditions is to step into living history. Nature in Ghana is generous and diverse. Rivers wind through forests and savannahs, feeding farmlands and sustaining villages. Birds fill the skies with color and sound, while wildlife moves quietly through protected reserves. The land feels fertile not just in soil, but in spirit, a place where life grows with intention and balance. As evening falls, the sky softens into warm hues of orange and purple. Fires flicker in villages, conversations slow, and music drifts gently through the night air. There is a sense of grounding here, a reminder that life does not need to rush to be meaningful. Ghana teaches presence to listen, to observe, to connect. This first chapter is not just an introduction to Ghana's landscapes and cities. It is an invitation into its soul, a land shaped by strength, grace, and continuity, a place where history is not behind glass, but alive in voices, rituals, in everyday moments. Welcome to Ghana, where the journey begins not with distance traveled, but with depth discovered. As the journey moves beyond the coastline and cities, Ghana opens into vast natural landscapes that feel both powerful and grounding. This is a land shaped by rivers, forests, savannahs, and sky, a geography that has guided life, trade, and culture for centuries. Here, nature is not a backdrop. It is an active presence, influencing how people live, move, and understand the world around them. Dense tropical forests blanket large parts of southern Ghana, breathing life into the land. Towering trees rise high above the forest floor, their canopies filtering sunlight into soft green light. The air feels heavy with moisture and possibility, alive with the sounds of insects, birds, and unseen creatures moving through the undergrowth. These forests are ancient, older than borders and cities, and they hold ecosystems that are both fragile and resilient. Walking through them feels like entering a living archive of time, where every leaf and root tells a story of survival. Water flows endlessly through Ghana, carving pathways that sustain communities and ecosystems alike. Rivers like the Volta and Pra are lifelines, supporting agriculture, transportation, and daily life. Along their banks, villages thrive in harmony with the rhythm of the water. Fishermen cast nets at dawn, farmers draw irrigation from its flow, and children play along the edges, learning the land through experience rather than instruction. The river is teacher, provider, and witness, a constant presence across generations. One of the most striking transitions in Ghana's landscape occurs as forests slowly give way to open savanna. The land stretches wider here, dotted with grasses, scattered trees, and endless skies. Sunsets feel larger, more dramatic, as the horizon seems to expand infinitely. This is a quieter beauty, one defined by space and light rather than density. Life adapts to these conditions with remarkable balance, moving in tune with seasons and rainfall rather than rigid schedules. Wildlife inhabits these regions in subtle but meaningful ways. Antelope move cautiously through tall grasses, monkeys chatter from treetops, and birds glide across the sky in brilliant flashes of color. In protected reserves, nature continues its ancient patterns, largely undisturbed. Ghana's wildlife does not demand attention, it reveals itself to those willing to observe patiently. Each sighting feels intimate, earned through stillness rather than pursuit. The climate shapes daily existence in profound ways. Rainy seasons transform the land into a canvas of green, filling streams and feeding crops. Dry seasons bring golden tones, dust-filled air, and cooler nights. Rather than resisting these cycles, communities adapt to them, organizing life around planting, harvest, and rest. This rhythm creates a deep respect for nature's authority, an understanding that humans are participants, not rulers, in the natural order. Sacred groves and protected forests reflect the spiritual relationship between people and land. These spaces are treated with reverence, believed to house ancestral spirits or serve as sites of ritual and reflection. They are preserved not only for ecological reasons, but for cultural and spiritual balance. In these places, nature and belief intertwine seamlessly, reinforcing the idea that the environment is not separate from identity or tradition. As the day fades, the land softens. Shadows stretch across fields, birds return to roost, and the air cools gently. Villages settle into evening routines, guided by the fading light rather than artificial clocks. There is a quiet dignity in these moments, a reminder that progress does not always mean speed, and that beauty often lives in simplicity. Ghana's landscapes teach patience and perspective. They remind travelers that nature does not rush, yet everything is accomplished in time. Forests grow, rivers flow, seasons turn, and life continues with quiet certainty. In this balance between movement and stillness, Ghana reveals a deeper truth, that harmony with the land creates strength, resilience, and peace. This chapter is an immersion into Ghana's natural soul, a world of flowing water, breathing forests, open skies, and enduring rhythms. It is a reminder that before history was written and cities were built, this land already knew how to sustain life, and it continues to do so with grace and power. Long before written records and modern borders, Ghana's land echoed with the authority of powerful kingdoms, strategic leadership, and deeply rooted traditions. This chapter is not just about history, it is about legacy. A living inheritance carried through language, ceremony, and memory. In Ghana, the past does not fade. It stands tall, walks beside the present, and shapes the future with quiet confidence. The story of Ghana is inseparable from the rise of great African civilizations. Among the most influential were the Akan states, especially the Ashanti Kingdom, whose power once extended across vast regions of West Africa. These were not fragile empires. They were highly organized societies built on governance, diplomacy, military strength, and economic intelligence. Gold was central to their prosperity, but wisdom, structure, and unity were their true wealth. Long before European contact, these kingdoms maintained trade networks that connected them to North Africa and beyond. At the heart of traditional authority stood the chiefs and kings, figures not only of political power, but of moral responsibility. They were custodians of land, culture, and law. Even today, traditional leadership remains deeply respected across Ghana. Chiefs preside over ceremonies, resolve disputes, and safeguard customs that have survived centuries of change. Their authority is not enforced by force, but by trust, heritage, and collective memory. Symbols carry profound meaning in Ghanaian culture. Adinkra symbols, often printed on cloth or carved into architecture, express philosophies about life, unity, resilience, and spirituality. Each symbol is a visual proverb, communicating ideas passed down through generations. These symbols remind people who they are, where they come from, and how they should live. Culture here speaks not only through words, but through patterns, gestures, and design. Clothing is another powerful expression of identity. Kente cloth, woven with precision and intention, is far more than fabric. Each color and pattern tells a story of leadership, celebration, mourning, or spiritual belief. Once reserved for royalty, Kente is now worn proudly across the nation, connecting modern life to ancestral tradition. When worn, it carries history on the shoulders of the present. Oral tradition remains one of Ghana's strongest cultural pillars. Stories, proverbs, and songs pass wisdom from elders to youth, preserving knowledge without the need for written text. These narratives teach values such as respect, courage, patience, and communal responsibility. Around fires, in courtyards, and during festivals, storytelling becomes a bridge between generations, ensuring that lessons learned long ago are never forgotten. Colonial encounters brought disruption, resistance, and transformation. European powers arrived, seeking resources, reshaping trade and governance, yet Ghanaian identity endured. Communities adapted without surrendering their core values. The struggle for independence in the 20th century was not merely political, it was cultural and psychological. Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence, inspiring movements across the continent and redefining African self-determination. Today, history lives not only in monuments and museums, but in daily life. Language, greetings, ceremonies, and social structures all reflect layers of time. Modern cities grow, technology advances, and global influences arrive, yet tradition remains grounded, respected, and visible. This balance between honoring the past and embracing the future is one of Ghana's greatest strengths. To understand Ghana is to understand continuity, a civilization that remembers where it began, honors those who came before, and walks forward with confidence rather than erasure. History here is not a closed chapter, it is a foundation. This chapter reveals a Ghana shaped by kings and storytellers, warriors and weavers, resistance and renewal. A nation that did not lose itself to time, but carried its soul forward intact, dignified, and alive. Ghana's coastline carries some of the most powerful and emotional stories in human history. Where the Atlantic Ocean meets the land, waves crash against weathered stone walls, and sea breezes move through corridors once filled with voices, footsteps, and silence. This is a coast of beauty and memory, a place where sunlight and sorrow exist side by side, and where the past continues to speak with quiet intensity. Along the shores stand the historic castles and forts built by European powers during centuries of trade, conquest, and exploitation. Structures like Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle dominate the coastline, their white walls glowing under the tropical sun. From a distance, they appear serene, almost majestic. But within their walls lie stories of unimaginable human suffering, resilience, and survival. These castles were central to the transatlantic slave trade, where millions of Africans were imprisoned before being forced across the ocean into slavery. Walking through these spaces is an experience of reflection and emotional weight. Narrow corridors, dark dungeons, and sealed chambers echo with the presence of those who once endured confinement here. Light filters faintly through small openings, reminding visitors of hope in the darkest conditions. These castles stand today not as symbols of defeat, but as reminders of strength, of people who endured, resisted, and survived, leaving a legacy that cannot be erased. Yet Ghana's coastline is not defined by sorrow alone. Life continues vibrantly around these historic sites. Fishing villages thrive nearby, filled with movement, color, and sound. Canoes painted in bright patterns line the beaches, each one carrying symbols, names, and prayers for protection at sea. Fishermen set out before dawn, guided by the stars and tradition, returning with the ocean's bounty to support families and communities. The sea remains a source of both livelihood and identity. Generations have learned to read its moods: calm, fierce, forgiving, and unpredictable. The rhythm of the waves sets the pace of life, shaping routines and traditions. Markets fill with fresh fish, laughter, negotiation, and shared stories, transforming the coast into a living, breathing ecosystem of culture and commerce. Beaches stretch wide along the Gulf of Guinea, offering moments of peace and reflection. Palm trees sway gently, children play near the water's edge, and travelers find space to pause and absorb the vastness of the ocean. Sunsets along the coast are particularly striking, as the sky deepens into warm tones of gold, orange, and crimson. In these moments, the sea feels both infinite and intimate, a witness to history and a symbol of continuity. The coastline also represents connection between Africa and the global African diaspora. For many, Ghana has become a place of return, remembrance, and healing. Ceremonies, commemorations, and quiet moments of prayer take place along these shores, honoring ancestors and acknowledging shared history. The ocean that once separated families now serves as a bridge of memory, identity, and reconnection. Nature along the coast remains resilient. Mangroves, lagoons, and coastal wetlands support diverse ecosystems, protecting shorelines and sustaining wildlife. Birds migrate along these routes, and marine life thrives beneath the surface. Preservation efforts aim to protect these fragile environments, ensuring that future generations inherit not only the history, but the natural beauty of the land. Ghana's coast is a place where the past and present exist together, not in conflict, but in conversation. It teaches reflection without despair, remembrance without bitterness, and strength without forgetting. To walk these shores is to acknowledge history honestly, honor resilience deeply, and recognize the enduring human spirit that shaped, survived, and continues to define Ghana. This chapter invites not only observation, but reflection, a moment to stand at the edge of land and sea, and to listen carefully to the stories carried by the wind, the waves, and the walls that still stand. Before the sun fully rises over Ghana's vast interior, the land begins to stir quietly. Mist lifts from grasslands, birds call across open skies, and the earth breathes with ancient patience. This is Ghana's wild side, a place where nature still follows its own rhythm, untouched by hurry, shaped by time, and alive with subtle power. Here, the country reveals a different kind of wonder, one built on balance, silence, and respect for life. Ghana's national parks and protected reserves preserve ecosystems that stretch from dense forests to open savanna. In these spaces, nature unfolds without performance. Antelope move cautiously through tall grasses, monkeys leap between branches with effortless grace, and reptiles warm themselves under the sun's steady gaze. Life here is not loud, yet it is deeply present, revealing itself to those willing to slow down and observe. The savanna regions of northern Ghana open into wide horizons, where the sky feels endless. Scattered trees stand resilient against heat and wind, while grasses ripple gently like waves across the land. This landscape demands adaptation, and wildlife here has mastered it over centuries. Animals move with purpose, conserving energy, following seasonal patterns and relying on instinct sharpened by survival. The beauty of this environment lies not in abundance, but in endurance. Forested reserves tell a different story. Thick canopies filter sunlight into green shadows, creating cool, layered worlds beneath. Insects hum, birds sing from hidden perches, and unseen creatures move quietly through undergrowth. These forests are alive with interdependence, each plant, animal, and stream playing a role in sustaining the whole. Walking through them feels immersive, almost spiritual, as if the forest itself is aware of every presence within it. Bird life is one of Ghana's greatest natural treasures. Hundreds of species fill the skies and wetlands, adding color, sound, and movement to the landscape. From graceful water birds along rivers to vibrant species hidden deep in forests, Ghana offers a haven for migratory and native birds alike. Their calls become the soundtrack of the wilderness, marking time more gently than any clock. Rivers and wetlands sustain both wildlife and communities. These water systems create corridors of life, drawing animals to their banks and nourishing surrounding land. Crocodiles rest along muddy edges, fish glide beneath calm surfaces, and vegetation thrives in the rich soil. For nearby villages, these waters provide food, irrigation, and connection, reinforcing the deep link between people and environment. Conservation in Ghana is rooted not only in policy, but in tradition. Many communities hold deep respect for certain animals and forests, protected by belief as much as by law. Sacred groves and taboo species reflect an understanding that nature is not separate from human life, but an extension of it. This cultural respect has helped preserve biodiversity long before modern conservation efforts began. As daylight fades, the wilderness transforms. Shadows stretch across plains, temperatures cool, and nocturnal life begins to stir. Sounds deepen the rustle of movement, distant calls, and the whisper of wind through grass. The land feels ancient and watchful, carrying the memory of countless seasons and stories that predate human record. Ghana's wildlife spaces offer more than scenic beauty. They offer perspective. They remind us that life thrives not through dominance, but through balance. That silence can be powerful, that nature does not rush, yet always continues. This chapter reveals Ghana as a land that protects its wild heart not as a spectacle, but as a living system deserving of respect. In these forests, savannahs, and wetlands, the country shows another face of its identity: resilient, patient, and deeply connected to the natural world. As the day unfolds across Ghana, the heartbeat of the nation becomes most visible in its people. This is a land where community is not an idea, but a living practice woven into daily life, shared labor, celebration, and tradition. To understand Ghana fully, one must listen to its voices, watch its rituals, and feel the warmth of its human connections. From early morning, towns and villages awaken together. Markets come alive with conversation and color, filled with the rhythm of bargaining, laughter, and greetings exchanged like blessings. Vendors arrange fruits, fabrics, spices, and handcrafted goods with pride, each stall telling a small story of skill passed down through generations. These markets are more than places of trade. They are social centers where news is shared and relationships are strengthened. Ghana's cultural diversity is vast, shaped by many ethnic groups, each with its own language, customs, and history. Yet across this diversity runs a powerful thread of unity: respect for elders, hospitality towards strangers, and collective responsibility form the foundation of social life. Visitors are often struck by how quickly they are welcomed, spoken to as friends rather than outsiders. Traditional attire reflects identity and pride. Colorful textiles, especially woven cloths and patterned fabrics, are worn not only for beauty, but for meaning. Each design carries symbolism, stories of ancestry, status, values, and life events. When worn during ceremonies, these garments transform gatherings into living expressions of heritage. Music and dance are central to Ghanaian expression. Drums speak in layered rhythms, guiding movement and emotion. Dance is not reserved for performance alone. It is participation, communication, and release. Through movement, stories are told of harvests, ancestors, struggles, and triumphs. Every step connects the dancer to those who came before, keeping memory alive through motion. Festivals bring communities together in powerful displays of culture and faith. Streets fill with processions. Traditional leaders appear in ceremonial regalia, and the air vibrates with song and drumming. These celebrations honor history, seasonal cycles, and spiritual beliefs, reinforcing bonds between people and reminding younger generations of their roots. Spiritual life in Ghana blends tradition and modern belief systems seamlessly. Ancient practices coexist alongside contemporary worship, creating a rich spiritual landscape. Shrines, churches, mosques, and sacred spaces all hold importance, reflecting a society that values faith as guidance rather than division. Spirituality here is lived openly, shaping ethics, decisions, and daily behavior. Family lies at the core of Ghanaian society. Extended families provide support, identity, and belonging. Elders serve as storytellers and guardians of wisdom, while children grow within a network of care that extends beyond parents alone. This structure fosters resilience, ensuring that no individual stands entirely alone. Craftsmanship remains a vital cultural expression. Artisans carve wood, mold clay, weave baskets, and create symbols that reflect philosophy and worldview. These objects are not merely decorative, they communicate values, proverbs, and lessons meant to guide life. Through craft, knowledge becomes tangible and enduring. As evening settles, communities slow together. Conversations continue under open skies, meals are shared, and stories flow easily. The sense of togetherness deepens as the day closes, reinforcing a feeling that life is meant to be experienced collectively. This chapter reveals Ghana's greatest treasure, its people. Their warmth, resilience, creativity, and respect for tradition shape the soul of the nation. In their voices, movements, and shared moments, Ghana's identity shines most clearly, reminding the world that culture lives strongest where community thrives. Before the sun fully rises, Ghana's wild landscapes begin to breathe. Mist drifts above forests, rivers shimmer quietly, and distant calls echo through trees that have stood for centuries. This is the natural heart of Ghana, a land where wildlife, water, and wilderness still exist in powerful balance. Ghana's forests are among the richest ecosystems in West Africa. Dense and alive, they shelter countless species of plants, birds, and animals that depend on the delicate rhythm of the land. Tall trees form green canopies that filter sunlight into soft beams, illuminating paths once walked by ancient civilizations. These forests are not silent. They hum with insects, rustle with hidden movement, and pulse with unseen life. Deep within protected reserves, wildlife moves freely. Antelopes step carefully through undergrowth, monkeys leap between branches, and rare birds flash brilliant colors as they take flight. Each species plays a role in maintaining balance, reminding us that nature survives through connection, not domination. Conservation efforts here are not just about protection, they are about coexistence between people and the natural world. Ghana's national parks stand as living sanctuaries. Vast savannas stretch toward the horizon, dotted with trees shaped by wind and time. In these open landscapes, elephants roam with quiet authority, carving paths passed down through generations. Watching them move is witnessing memory in motion, a reminder of endurance, family bonds, and survival. Rivers thread through the country like lifelines. They nourish farmland, sustain wildlife, and shape communities along their banks. Some flow gently, reflecting skies like mirrors, while others surge with force during the rainy season. These waters carry stories of trade, migration, and spiritual belief linking nature to human history. Waterfalls hidden within forests emerge suddenly, powerful and breathtaking. Cascading water crashes against rock, filling the air with mist and sound. These places feel sacred, as if nature itself is speaking. For centuries, such sites have been revered, not only for beauty, but for their spiritual presence, believed to hold protective energy and wisdom. Along Ghana's coastline, nature shifts dramatically. The Atlantic Ocean meets the land with both gentleness and strength. Beaches stretch wide and open, shaped by tides and time. Fishing villages rely on the sea's rhythm, launching boats at dawn and returning with the day's rewards. Here, Humans and ocean exist in mutual respect, each dependent on the other. Mangrove forests thrive where river and sea merge. These tangled roots protect shorelines, filter water, and create nurseries for marine life. Though often overlooked, mangroves are vital guardians of the coast, silently sustaining ecosystems while shielding communities from erosion and storms. The changing seasons transform Ghana's landscapes. Rains awaken the earth, turning dry ground lush and fertile. Grasslands bloom, animals migrate, and rivers swell with renewed energy. Dry months bring clarity and contrast, revealing the raw strength of the land beneath. Each cycle reinforces the resilience of nature and the patience required to live alongside it. Human presence here has learned, over time, to adapt rather than conquer. Farming methods respect seasonal rhythms, traditional knowledge guides land use, and conservation grows from understanding rather than force. This harmony is not perfect, but it is deeply rooted in experience. As daylight fades over forests, savannahs, and shores, Ghana's natural world settles into quiet motion. Creatures retreat, stars emerge, and the land rests, ready to awaken again. This chapter reveals a Ghana shaped not only by people and history, but by a living environment that continues to define its spirit, strength, and future. Across Ghana, the rhythm of daily life is guided by tradition, resilience, and an unbreakable connection to the land. Chapter 8 journeys into the heart of Ghana's rural landscapes and timeless villages, where life moves with nature rather than against it, and where heritage is preserved through action rather than memory alone. As dawn breaks over the countryside, fields begin to stir. Farmers walk narrow paths carved by generations before them, tools in hand, guided by knowledge passed down through stories and observation. Agriculture here is more than survival. It is identity. Crops such as cocoa, yams, maize, and plantain are cultivated with care, forming the backbone of local economies and sustaining communities across the nation. Cocoa, in particular, holds special meaning. Ghana's cocoa farms stretch across fertile regions, producing beans that travel the world. Yet, behind every harvest lies patient labor, hands that nurture trees for years before the first pods appear. This long commitment reflects a deeper philosophy. True reward comes from consistency, not haste. Villages are built with purpose and simplicity. Homes cluster together, forming spaces where interaction is constant and privacy is shared with community. Children play freely under watchful eyes. Elders sit in shaded areas, exchanging wisdom, and daily tasks unfold in open view. Here, life is not hidden behind walls. It is lived collectively. Water sources remain central gathering points. Wells and rivers are places where work becomes conversation, and conversation becomes connection. These shared moments strengthen bonds, turning routine into ritual. In such settings, community spirit is not taught, it is absorbed naturally. Traditional leadership continues to guide village life. Chiefs and elders serve not as rulers, but as custodians of culture and fairness. Decisions are made through dialogue, respect, and shared values, ensuring that progress does not erase identity. Ceremonies honoring these leaders reinforce unity and remind younger generations of their responsibilities to the community. Craftsmanship thrives in rural Ghana. From pottery shaped by hand to weaving that turns thread into story, skills are passed carefully from one generation to the next. These crafts are not rushed. Each piece reflects patience, pride, and personal expression. What is created is meant to last, both physically and culturally. Education, though evolving, remains deeply tied to environment and tradition. Children learn modern subjects while also absorbing lessons from daily life, respect for nature, cooperation, and self-reliance. Knowledge is both formal and informal, blending classroom learning with lived experience. Spiritual practices are woven into everyday routines. Sacred trees, ancestral shrines, and seasonal rituals reflect a worldview that honors unseen forces and ancestral guidance. These beliefs do not isolate people from progress. Instead, they provide grounding, offering meaning beyond material gain. Evenings in the villages bring calm reflection. Meals are shared, stories are told, and laughter echoes under open skies. Without distraction, conversation deepens. Elders recount history, parents guide children, and memory flows freely, ensuring that the past remains present. Despite modern challenges, rural Ghana stands resilient. Roads may be simple and resources limited, but strength lies in cooperation and adaptability. Communities support one another during hardship, reinforcing the idea that survival is strongest when shared. This chapter reveals a Ghana rooted in simplicity and strength. In its villages and farmlands, the nation's foundation becomes clear, a way of life built on patience, respect, and unity. Here, progress does not replace tradition. It grows from it, ensuring that Ghana's soul remains firmly connected to the land and its people. Ghana's story is one of endurance, transformation, and hope, a nation shaped by the weight of its past and the promise of its future. Chapter 9 explores Ghana's journey through time, revealing how history, struggle, and vision have combined to shape a modern identity rooted in pride and purpose. Long before modern borders existed, powerful kingdoms rose across this land. These civilizations built complex political systems, traded across vast distances, and developed rich cultural traditions. Gold flowed through ancient trade routes, giving Ghana its historical name and linking it to global networks long before colonial contact. These early societies laid the foundations of governance, artistry, and resilience that still influence the nation today. The arrival of European powers marked a turning point. Forts and castles appeared along the coast, symbols of control, commerce, and suffering. These structures witnessed centuries of exploitation, including the transatlantic slave trade, which tore millions from their homeland. The scars of this era run deep, etched into memory, landscape, and identity. Yet, even in this darkness, resistance endured. Ghana's path to independence stands as a defining chapter in African history. Through unity, leadership, and vision, the nation became the first sub-Saharan African country to break free from colonial rule. This moment ignited hope far beyond its borders, inspiring movements across the continent. Independence was not merely a political shift, it was a declaration of dignity and self-determination. Post-independence brought challenges alongside progress. Economic pressures, political change, and social adjustment tested the nation's strength. Through periods of uncertainty, Ghana continued to evolve, guided by lessons learned from history. Stability became a priority, and democratic values took root, shaping a system built on participation and accountability. Today, Ghana stands as a symbol of growth and innovation in West Africa. Cities expand, technology connects communities, and creative industries flourish. Music, film, fashion, and art carry Ghanaian voices to global audiences, blending tradition with contemporary expression. Youth play a vital role, bringing energy and ideas that push the nation forward while honoring its heritage. Education and entrepreneurship drive ambition. New generations seek opportunity through learning and enterprise, addressing challenges with creativity and resilience. While inequalities remain, progress is visible in expanding access to knowledge, healthcare, and infrastructure. Diaspora connections strengthen Ghana's global presence. Descendants of those once taken from these shores return seeking reconnection and healing. These reunions transform pain into understanding, turning history into dialogue rather than division. Ghana's openness to this shared past reflects maturity and compassion. Cultural pride remains a powerful force. National symbols, celebrations, and storytelling reinforce unity across diverse communities. Ghanaians carry their history not as a burden, but as a source of strength, proof that survival is possible even after immense loss. As night falls on modern cities and quiet towns alike, Ghana continues its journey. The past informs the present shapes the future. The true essence of this remarkable nation begins to reveal itself, not in individual landmarks or cities alone, but in the harmony of nature, culture, history, and human spirit. Ghana is a country where every element interacts seamlessly. Rivers shape villages, forests shelter life, traditions guide behavior, and communities thrive through resilience and connection. To witness Ghana fully is to see how the past, present, and future coexist in a living, breathing symphony of experience. The northern regions of Ghana unfold like vast, sun-drenched plains. Here, Life moves in rhythm with the seasons, and the land teaches lessons of patience, endurance, and adaptability. Farmers tend to fields of millet, maize, and sorghum, guided by ancestral knowledge passed down over generations. Every harvest, every planting, is more than agriculture. It is an act of continuity, connecting families and communities to centuries of wisdom. Livestock roam gently across open grasslands, while rivers thread through the terrain, providing water and sustenance for both humans and wildlife. In this region, one witnesses the raw power of nature and the quiet resilience of those who live alongside it. Ghana's forests, meanwhile, remain sanctuaries of life and mystery. Dense canopies filter sunlight into dancing shadows, and the air is filled with a symphony of wildlife. Birds of dazzling color flit between branches, while monkeys leap effortlessly overhead. Rare and endangered species find refuge here, reminding visitors that this land remains a treasure chest of biodiversity. These forests are not simply scenic, they are vital to life, shaping climate, protecting soil, and sustaining communities. Walking through them is an act of immersion, a reminder that humans are part of a larger ecosystem that must be respected, nurtured, and preserved. Along the coastline, the Atlantic Ocean meets Ghana with both majesty and history. Beaches stretch along the Gulf of Guinea, golden and serene, where fishing communities maintain traditions that have endured for centuries. Canoes, often painted with bold colors and symbols, push off at dawn, carrying nets and hopes alike. The ocean's rhythm dictates life here, teaching patience and offering bounty. Yet these shores also hold profound historical significance. Forts and castles, like Cape Coast and Elmina, stand as solemn witnesses to the transatlantic slave trade, reminding all who visit of resilience, survival, and the enduring human spirit. These sites, though heavy with history, inspire reflection and a commitment to remember and honor the past. The heart of Ghana pulses in its villages and towns. Life here is communal and vibrant, characterized by collaboration, shared responsibilities, and deep social bonds. Markets overflow with color, movement, and sound. Children play freely as elders supervise. Families prepare meals together, and artisans craft items that carry meaning beyond function. Kente cloths are woven, drums are played, and storytelling keeps history alive. Every village is a microcosm of the nation, revealing values of respect, cooperation, and identity that form the foundation of Ghanaian life. Spirituality in Ghana is woven seamlessly into daily existence. From ancestral shrines to vibrant church services, from sacred groves to mosque courtyards, faith and belief guide thought, behavior, and ethics. Ceremonies and rituals are not performed solely for display. They connect the living to ancestors, the community to the land, and individuals to a greater purpose. Through these practices, one understands that Ghanaian culture thrives not just on survival or prosperity, but on meaning, connection, and reverence. Festivals bring this human energy to life in spectacular ways. Drums echo through streets, dancers move with precision and joy, and communities gather to celebrate heritage, faith, or the cycle of the seasons. Festivals are more than entertainment. They are living classrooms where history, morality, and artistry converge. Participation is not passive, it is immersive, reminding both residents and visitors of the importance of belonging and continuity. Even as cities modernize, Ghana retains balance. Skyscrapers and technology coexist with traditions that date back centuries. People navigate the demands of contemporary life without losing sight of identity, community, or values. The nation's evolution demonstrates that progress need not erase heritage. It can be built upon it, creating a dynamic, resilient, and culturally rich society. As Ghana's journey reaches its final chapter, the country's true essence comes into focus, a harmony of history, culture, nature, and human spirit that cannot be captured in a single image or moment. Every step across its land, every conversation with its people, and every encounter with its landscapes reveals layers of resilience, beauty, and enduring legacy that define this remarkable nation. The inland regions of Ghana carry a different rhythm from the bustling cities and serene coastlines. Rolling hills, fertile plains, and winding rivers stretch as far as the eye can see, forming a landscape that is both productive and poetic. Farmers rise before dawn to tend cocoa, yams, maize, and other crops, sustaining not only their families but the economy that reaches far beyond Ghana's borders. Their work is steady, patient, and deeply connected to the cycles of the land, a reminder that life, like nature, requires balance, rhythm, and care. Forests continue to play a crucial role, harboring biodiversity and providing resources for generations. Sacred groves, untouched by agriculture or development, stand as spiritual and ecological sanctuaries. Here, trees, streams, and wildlife coexist with rituals that honor ancestors and the forces of nature. These spaces are protected not just for their ecological importance, but because of a deeply ingrained cultural respect, a lesson in coexistence that modern societies often overlook. Rivers and lakes thread through Ghana's heartlands, sustaining communities and wildlife alike. The Volta River, a lifeline for the country, flows with quiet majesty, its waters supporting hydroelectric power, irrigation, and fisheries. Along its banks, villages thrive through generations of knowledge and tradition. Fishing, boat-making, and riverside markets form the backbone of rural life, linking communities to one another and to the land in tangible, enduring ways. Ghana's wildlife is a living testament to the country's natural diversity. From the savannahs of the north to the rainforests of the south, elephants, antelopes, monkeys, and rare bird species move through their habitats with effortless grace. National parks like Mole, Kakum, and Bia provide sanctuary for these animals, while offering visitors a glimpse into ecosystems that have existed for centuries. Observing these creatures in the wild fosters a sense of respect, humility, and awe, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life. Yet the true wonder of Ghana lies not only in its natural landscapes, but in its people, whose warmth and resilience animate every corner of the nation. Villages pulse with tradition, cities hum with commerce and creativity, and communities celebrate life through music, dance, and festivals. Drums, flutes, and voices echo across streets and fields, telling stories of struggle, joy, faith, and endurance. Each note, each step, each smile reflects an identity that is proud, alive, and deeply rooted. Cultural heritage remains vibrant across Ghana. Kente cloth, adinkra, symbols, traditional dance, and storytelling connect modern generations to the wisdom of ancestors. Festivals like Homoo, Panafest, and Damba not only celebrate history, but reinforce unity, teaching lessons of resilience, gratitude, and solidarity. Even as the country modernizes, these traditions anchor Ghanaian identity, ensuring that progress never comes at the expense of heritage. The coastal regions, where the Atlantic meets the land, complete the picture. Fishing villages, historic castles, and sandy beaches carry echoes of both sorrow and triumph. These shores witness the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, yet they also reflect survival, remembrance, and reconnection. Today, the coastline thrives, offering opportunities for tourism, commerce, and cultural exchange, while reminding visitors that history must be acknowledged to move forward. As day fades into night, the skies over Ghana transform. Stars emerge above forests, savannahs, and cities, illuminating a country that has weathered centuries of change and challenge. Life slows, yet the land and people continue their eternal rhythm, living, growing, remembering, and celebrating. Ghana's energy is not in rush or noise, but in continuity, resilience, and the quiet confidence of a nation that knows its value. A Ghana that cannot be reduced to single stories or snapshots. It is a living, breathing entity, landscapes, history, wildlife, and human life intertwined in a harmony that is both delicate and enduring. Visitors leave with memories of vibrant cities, golden beaches, dense forests, and welcoming communities. But what lingers most is the feeling of connection, a sense that Ghana's spirit has touched them, leaving an imprint that lasts long after the journey ends. Ghana, in its fullness, teaches that wonder exists not only in what is seen, but in what is felt, experienced, and understood. It is a nation where history and nature, tradition and progress resilience and joy converge, creating an experience that is as profound as it is unforgettable. Ghana's journey unfolds. The full richness of the nation comes into view, a land where nature, history, and human spirit coexist in remarkable harmony. Here, every landscape, every village, every coastline, and every person tells a story that is both ancient and alive, shaping a narrative that is uniquely Ghanaian. This is a story of endurance, pride, and celebration. A story that invites travelers to witness not only sights, but the very heartbeat of a nation. The northern savannahs offer wide-open spaces where the horizon stretches endlessly, a canvas of gold and green that shifts with the seasons. Villages scattered across this landscape thrive in rhythm with the land. Here, farming is not merely occupation, it is identity, community, and heritage. Farmers work patiently, cultivating crops like millet, sorghum, and yams, teaching lessons in perseverance and connection to the earth. Their knowledge is passed down through generations, rooted in observation, intuition, and respect for natural cycles. Each harvest is more than food. It is a celebration of life itself. Moving south, the forests and jungles reveal another layer of Ghana's vitality. Dense canopies shelter wildlife and maintain ecological balance, while rivers and streams wind silently beneath the foliage. National parks such as Mole, Kakum, and Bia are not just havens for animals, they are symbols of Ghana's commitment to preserving its natural heritage. Elephants roam freely, monkeys leap between trees, and countless bird species fill the air with color and song. For visitors, the forests are immersive classrooms, teaching patience, awareness, and reverence for life in all its forms. Ghana's coastal regions stand as both witnesses and reminders of history. Castles like Cape Coast and Elmina tell stories of hardship and resilience, places where millions of Africans were once held before being taken into slavery. Today, these sites are spaces of remembrance and reflection. They honor ancestors, acknowledge past suffering, and celebrate the survival and strength of the human spirit. Alongside these historic sites, fishing communities thrive, connecting livelihoods to the rhythms of the Atlantic Ocean. Canoes glide across the water at dawn, nets are cast and retrieved, and the cycle of life continues as it has for centuries. Culture remains the living heartbeat of Ghana. Festivals, music, dance, and art infuse daily life with vibrancy and continuity. Drumming and song are not mere entertainment, they are communication, storytelling, and expression. Traditional attire, such as Kente cloth, tells stories of identity, history, and values. Adinkra symbols convey wisdom through visual language, reminding each generation of the principles that guide life, respect, unity, perseverance, and hope. These cultural expressions are more than decoration. They are lifelines connecting the past, present, and future. Education, entrepreneurship, and innovation are shaping Ghana's modern identity. Urban centers pulse with energy and creativity, blending global influences with local heritage. Young people embrace technology, fashion, and music, forging paths that honor tradition while driving progress. Ghana is a nation that balances growth with respect for its roots, proving that development need not come at the cost of identity. The people themselves are Ghana's greatest treasure. Their warmth, generosity, and resilience define the nation. Visitors often leave not only with memories of landscapes and landmarks, but with experiences of shared meals, conversation, laughter, and hospitality. Community, family, and interconnectedness remain at the core of life here. These values create a sense of belonging that transcends borders and generations. As the sun sets over Ghana's mountains, forests, and coastline, the nation glows with quiet beauty. The sky fills with hues of gold, orange, and violet, reflecting off rivers and the ocean, illuminating villages and cities alike. In these moments, the harmony of Ghana between land and people, past and present, nature and culture becomes unmistakable. It is a living, breathing story of resilience, pride, and wonder. Ghana teaches that a nation's true wealth lies not only in its resources or landmarks, but in its ability to preserve identity, celebrate culture, and nurture both people and nature. It is a place where history and modernity coexist, where challenges are met with creativity and where every individual contributes to a collective spirit that endures across centuries. This final chapter is a celebration, a reflection, and an invitation. Ghana is not simply to be visited, it is to be experienced, felt, and remembered. Its beauty is in the land, its strength is in the people, and its legacy is in the stories that continue to shape every corner of the nation. To journey through Ghana is to encounter wonder at every turn, to feel history beneath your feet, and to understand that the most extraordinary places are those that touch the pod as deeply as they impress the eyes. The country reveals a truth that cannot be contained in words alone. Ghana is a living mosaic of history, nature, culture, and spirit. Every element of the nation, from its golden savannas and dense forests to its bustling cities and tranquil coasts, speaks to resilience, creativity, and a deep connection between people and land. This is a place where the past is never forgotten, the present is vibrantly alive, and the future is crafted with intention and pride. In the north, the savanna stretches endlessly, its grasses swaying in the wind like a living ocean. Villages here maintain rhythms that have guided life for centuries. Farmers tend to the land with patience and reverence, planting crops that sustain communities while honoring ancestral knowledge. Every harvest, every act of cultivation, reflects a harmony with nature, a reminder that survival and prosperity are born from respect and understanding rather than dominance. Elephants roam these plains with quiet authority, their presence a testament to the enduring life of the wild, and a reminder of the responsibility humans hold in protecting it. Moving southward, Ghana's lush forests emerge as living cathedrals of green. Tall trees rise above the canopy, sheltering rare birds, insects, and mammals that thrive in this protected ecosystem. Kakum National Park, with its iconic canopy walkway, offers a perspective both literal and symbolic. Walking above the forest floor reminds visitors of the interconnectivity of all life. Rivers wind through the trees, supporting agriculture and providing refuge for wildlife. In these forests, the rhythm of life is subtle yet profound, teaching lessons of patience, balance, and coexistence. The coastline tells a story of both sorrow and resilience. Forts and castles such as Elmina and Cape Coast bear witness to the transatlantic slave trade, standing as solemn reminders of human suffering, endurance, and survival. Within their walls, history speaks and echoes stories of those taken from their homeland, of courage in the face of despair, and of legacy carried forward by descendants around the world. Today, these sites are spaces for remembrance, education, and reconciliation, connecting Ghana to its diaspora and the wider global community. Along the same coastline, vibrant fishing communities continue their daily routines, guided by the tides, the ocean's rhythms, and centuries of maritime knowledge. The contrast between past and present here is striking. Sorrow and beauty exist side by side, forming a tapestry of human experience that is uniquely Ghanaian. Culture pulses at the core of every Ghanaian community. Music, dance, and festivals celebrate life, history, and spirituality. Drumming and song are not mere entertainment. They are communication, storytelling, and identity. Traditional attire, especially Kente cloth, transforms gatherings into living expressions of heritage, with colors and patterns telling stories of lineage, achievement, and values. Adinkra symbols, embedded in art, architecture, and clothing, serve as reminders of wisdom and guidance, passed down through generations. Each celebration, each movement, each melody strengthens connections between people, between past and present, and between humans and their environment. Urban centers reflect Ghana's forward-looking spirit. Cities like Accra and Kumasi are hubs of innovation, creativity, and commerce, blending tradition with modernity. Entrepreneurs, artists, and youth drive progress while maintaining deep respect for cultural identity. Education, technology, and infrastructure empower the next generation to build a future that honors heritage while embracing opportunity. Ghana is a nation balancing history and ambition, a place where progress does not erase roots but grows from them. Throughout the country, the human spirit shines brightest, hospitality, warmth, and resilience define everyday life. Communities support one another, families remain interconnected, and social bonds are nurtured through shared work, celebration, and storytelling. Visitors often leave Ghana not just with memories of landscapes, landmarks, or wildlife, but with the profound sense that they have encountered a society rooted in respect, dignity, and connection. As the sun sets over Ghana, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson, the nation glows with quiet majesty. Rivers reflect the fading light, forests soften into shadow, and cities settle into evening rhythms. The land breathes, carrying with it centuries of history, the vitality of today, and the promise of tomorrow. Ghana is more than a destination. It is a living story, one that unfolds with each step, each gaze, and each shared moment. This final chapter is an invitation to feel Ghana, not just see it, to immerse oneself in its history, its landscapes, its people, and its culture. It is a celebration of resilience, beauty, and connection, a reminder that the most profound wonders of a place are often those that touch the heart as deeply as they capture the eye. Ghana teaches that true richness lies in the harmony between people, land, and spirit, and in the courage to carry history forward with pride, wisdom, and grace. Ghana is a nation of enduring legacy, where every river, forest, savanna, and coastline tells a story, and where the living culture of its people ensures that those stories will continue to inspire, teach, and captivate for generations to come. It is a land that leaves an imprint on the soul, a place where wonder is not fleeting but eternal. As the sun sets over Ghana's golden plains, its lush forests, and vibrant cities, one thing becomes clear. This is a land of resilience, beauty, and endless wonder. From the echoes of history along its shores, to the vibrant life in its villages, and the unyielding spirit of its people, Ghana is more than a destination. It is an experience, a story, and a legacy. We've walked its landscapes, felt its energy, and witnessed its culture, and yet Ghana leaves us with more than images. It leaves a connection, a sense of awe, and a reminder that true wonder is found not just in places, but in the people and stories that make them extraordinary. Thank you for joining us on this unforgettable journey. Remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored, and every corner of Ghana invites you to discover, feel, and experience its magic for yourself. Until next time, keep wandering, keep discovering, and let the spirit of adventure guide you wherever you go. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.